So it's Tuesday of MACH 2018. We're on the DMG Mori stand. As you would expect, we've got some fabulous technology that we're looking at. I'm with Neil Stuart. Neil, this is some machine here, this DMC 80. Tell us a little bit about this model.
Okay, well this is the Duoblock. We've exhibited the Duoblock a few times, but this is now the generation 4. We started off with a hide-in, and then we went from always evolving our Duoblock machines. But this machine has got a pallet, which makes it the DMC, 800 in the x-axis, the smallest of the range. But also we have the FD technology, which gives us turning. So we have a direct drive table and all the turning functions with all the turning cycles and so on. But once we have turning, then we can fit grinding, because we got the speed on the table with a direct drive, and we can use eccentric turning and also gear skiving. So there's a lot on this machine. It can mill, it can turn, it can grind, eccentric turn, and gear skiving as well.
You answered about 10 questions in one there. It's fantastic. You saved me a lot of talking. No, it's brilliant. What sort of application is somebody going to need to be doing to get the benefit of this sort of technology, though, Neil? Let's put the grinding aside for 1 minute. We'll come back to that. But in general, as a multi sort of axis universal machine.
Okay, well, if we take the machine in its basic form, which would be with or without a pallet, it would then just be a 5-axis milling machine. And then it really appeals to all sorts of sectors: aerospace, motorsport, medical's probably too big for medical, but anything that requires complex machining and requires accuracy.
And is there a big market for these for DMG Mori in the UK? Do you sell a lot of them?
Yeah, we do actually. I don't know the exact numbers, and they come in different sizes, because if we take the 80, we go from 80 and then we actually go up to a 340. So we go from 800 millimetres up to 3.4 metres.
Wow, the 3.4 metres, that must be some machine.
It is. It's a very large machine. It's also very versatile and very accurate. And I would say probably the main sector we sell them to is aerospace, because it lends so well, as you look at this part here, to engine cases and round aerospace components which require a degree of accuracy.
So why the introduction of grinding then? I mean, normally you would take the part off and it would be ground on another machine. Is it to bring it all onto one machine, do everything in one cell?
Well, yeah, because it's really customer driven, because a lot of aerospace customers, what they will do, they'll take the part, they'll rough mill it or rough turn it and finish it complete, but then they need to grind it as well, and so they need to take it from that machine and put it off this machine and put it onto the machine. So I say a lot of aerospace customers have asked us to introduce grinding, and that's exactly what we've done. So now we can put it on one machine and it can come off complete after milling, turning and grinding. It's what we call our process chain, and we can also inspect as well. So we can rough turn it, then we can semi-finish with the grinding wheel, then we'll measure the diameter or the face, measure the offset the grinding wheel, and then finish the part, and so it'll come off complete.
And we've got up here technology cycles on the side of the machine. You've got machining cycle grinding, machining cycle eccentric machining, fitting, B-axis plunging. So just what is this? You buy this machine and configure it, or you configure the machine before you buy it to what you actually want? Yeah,
well, first of all, if you look at those cycles, we say grinding, you do need the FD technology, FD meaning the turning cycle. So what you have then is you have a direct drive table. Now this particular table will revolve up to 800 RPM, which is really quick for a table of that size. Once you have that capability with the direct drive table, then we can fit grinding, because you'll need that surface speed. Once we have the direct drive table, then we can go for eccentric machining. So we can turn then off centre, so for cam milling or anything that requires turning off centre. So, and there's a lot going on in the control to do that. And then the one that I haven't mentioned is gear skiving, which takes a lot of synchronisation, because it's not just a matter of turning the table as fast as you can. You need to synchronise the teeth on the gear skiving tool, so you get the right number of gear teeth. And it's very good to watch, and it's also a very fast and accurate process.
That must be a lot to do with software as opposed to hardware, though, correct?
Yes, it is, yeah. Well, both. Obviously, you need the hardware to make the component move, but you need the software for the synchronisation.
One thing that strikes me with this, what about the dressing of the wheel and where you house the grinders and all that sort of stuff? Because that's not a small grinding wheel.
No, it's not actually, no, but this particular machine, we can put tools in up to 700 millimetres. That is an option because people don't normally need that, but we've got the 700 millimetres. Then the grinding wheels, there's a couple of things I'd like to show you. You can see the one that we've got in the spindle at the moment. This is a special holder, but we use through spindle coolant because with grinding you've got to make sure that the wheel is clear. If it gets clogged and it doesn't grind properly, and then you can get the wheel can destroy itself and whatever. But what we also do is we have a special dressing function, and in there's an acoustic sensor. So the tool comes in, it touches the dresser, and it's listening all the time. As soon as it touches, then it will carry on with the dressing process, so we can then dress profiles into the wheel. But then we have another acoustic sensor. You can see it's coming up to it's dressing the wheel. Then we have another acoustic sensor when it comes to machine the part. So the grinding wheel will move to the part, and as soon as it touches, it listens, and then it will carry on with its grinding cycle. So maybe a little bit unnerving to watch, but it's very efficient and it works well. It's clever technology.
A lot more than meets the eye. What about the actual machine and the call it the grinding remnant that you're producing? Even sometimes it's like a grinding paste, isn't it, that comes off? Is that going to give wear and tear to the machine?
Well, normally it would, yeah, but we put protection on the machine. It comes within our grinding package. So we have to make sure we put extra wipers on the ball screws. We put extra wipers on the guideways. Even inside the cabinet, we give it an air purge. So it's a positive air pressure, so we don't get any grinding paste or whatsoever, or grinding dust on the electrics, because it'd be catastrophic if you did. So we have a full grinding package and dust protection on this machine.
Sounds like they put a hell of a lot of thought into this, Neil. So engineers can come here this week and see this in action at MACH 2018. It really is something else.
This is the first time they've actually shown this machine with grinding.
Great stuff. Thank you, Neil.
Okay, thank you, Paul.